All right, everybody. It's kind of weird being over here and being the one calling the meeting to order, but I'm going to call the meeting to order on January 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m., and I will hand it over to our new mayor.
Thank you so much, Addie. This evening, I have no comments.
But I do believe we have a mayoral proclamation.
Thank you, Addie. I'd like to invite the Priscilla family up, and I'd like to read a bit of a proclamation that we have in recognition of Mr. John Ivan Priscilla. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's a real honor for this to be one of the first things that I do as mayor here in the city of Cleveland Heights. So on behalf of the office of the mayor, I have a proclamation honoring the life and legacy of Mr. John Ivan Priscilla. Whereas the city of Cleveland Heights mourns the passing of John Ivan Priscilla, a beloved resident whose remarkable life of faith, scholarship, resilience, and service came to a close on November 21st, 2025 at the age of 103. And whereas born on March 9th, 1922 in Croatia, John was the first child of Peter and Iva Priscilla and enjoyed a formative agricultural childhood before entering the Franciscan pre-seminary at the age of 13, embarking on a lifelong pursuit of learning, faith, and moral purpose. And whereas his early adulthood was profoundly shaped by the upheaval of World War II, during which he was forcibly conscripted into the Yugoslav Communist Army, escaped after 6 harrowing weeks and fled to Italy, where he continued his Franciscan studies in Rome amid displacement and uncertainty. And whereas, following years of discernment, study, and lived experience, Mr. Priscilla chose a new path, one defined by advocacy for the Croatian people, devotion to family life modeled after St. Joseph, and a steadfast commitment to truth, leading him in 1949 to immigrate alone to the United States with limited resources but unwavering determination. And whereas, through tireless perseverance, he worked evening factory shifts to fund his education, earning a bachelor's degree from John Carroll University and a master's degree from Case Western Reserve University, exemplifying the values of discipline, sacrifice, and lifelong learning. And whereas Mr. Priscilla dedicated more than 30 years to educating young people, teaching at St. Ed and later at Brush High School in South Euclid-Lyndhurst City School District until his retirement in 1988, inspiring generations of students through his intellectual rigor, moral integrity, and passion for history. And whereas alongside his teaching career, he emerged as a leading scholar, author, and advocate for Croatian history and independence, serving as chairman of the United American Croatians Independence Movement and authoring influential works, including Operation Slaughterhouse and others, that documented the atrocities endured by his generation and preserved historical memory with courage and conviction. And whereas his advocacy and scholarship took him abroad, including to Spain, where he met the love of his life, Amelia, whom he married in 1963, and together they returned to the United States to build a life rooted in faith, hard work, devotion to family. And whereas in 1965, John and Cleo made their home on Monticello Boulevard in Cleveland Heights, where they raised 4 children, Maria, Joseph, Anita, and Teresa. Are any of those here this evening? Became deeply woven in the fabric of the community, enjoying the city's parks, pool, ice rink, and shared civic life, while instilling in their family a love for learning, service, and togetherness. And whereas following Cleo's passing in July 2002, Mr. Priscilla continued to live independently in the home they shared for decades, tending his gardens with pride, planting tomatoes well into his 103rd year, writing and publishing works on St. Joseph, sharing his faith and scholarship online, and remaining an active, engaged presence in the lives of his family and community. And whereas he was a devoted father and a profoundly proud grandfather to 8 grandchildren, embracing each moment from T-ball games to college graduations and a family wedding in his final months, with joy, presence, and love embodying the belief that service to family is among life's highest callings. Whereas John Ivan Priscilla's life stands as a testament to resilience in the face of injustice, devotion to faith and family, commitment to education and truth, and deep appreciation for the community he proudly called home. Now, therefore, I, Jim Petrus, Mayor of the City of Cleveland Heights, do hereby honor and celebrate the life and legacy of Mr. John Ivan Priscilla and extend the city's deepest condolences to his family, friends, former students, and all whose lives were enriched by his extraordinary journey. Be it further proclaimed that the City of Cleveland Heights expresses its profound gratitude to Mr. Priscilla's contributions to education, scholarship, civic life, and cultural memory, and recognizes his enduring example of perseverance, faith, and service to others. In witness, therefore, I have hereunto set my name and caused the seal of the City of Cleveland Heights to be affixed on this 5th day of January, 2026.
Thank you very much to the City of Cleveland Heights. My sisters, my 3 sisters and I were born and raised in Cleveland Heights. It's been our home, forever home. It's where my family lived. And the community was very welcoming to my 2 parents who were immigrants from Europe. And Cleveland Heights was a very welcoming and open community. And I hope it remains that way because we really enjoyed growing up. And congratulations to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, we might have to. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, now for the results of our November 4th, 2025 general election. Cuyahoga County Board of Elections certified the official election results for the November 4th, 2025 general election at its board certification meeting on November 25th, 2025. The following candidates were elected to the City of Cleveland Heights City Council: Tony Kuda, Jessica Cohen, Craig Cobb, and Joseph DeWitt Foy. And now we are going to, I apologize. We do have a bit of an out of an order of our meeting here. We do need to do a selection of the president pro tem. So if we have a motion for one, a nomination for one.
Yes, I'll be glad to motion that Gail Larson be appointed president pro tem.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
So I guess I'll call to have the oaths of office taken. All right. And we decided which order, please?
I guess we will go in alphabetical.
Okay.
You're first, Craig.
Oh,
Craig's first.
we have 3 C's.
Counselor-elect, re-elected, Craig Cobb.
Laws of the United States of America. The Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio. And the charter and ordinances of the city of Cleveland Heights. And that so long as I continue to hold the position as council member, I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially discharge that office to the best of my ability.
This would be Counselor-elect Jessica Cohen.
I, and state your name,
Cohen,
solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Cleveland Heights,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Cleveland Heights,
and that so long as I continue to hold the position as council member,
and that so long as I continue to hold the position as council member,
I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially
I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
Re-elected Counselor Kuda.
So before we start, I want to introduce one of my oldest and dearest friends, Kevin O'Neill, who's going to be swearing me in. He's a law professor at CSU. We've been friends for 60 years. We met in Tris Speaker Little League right here in Cleveland Heights when we were both 10 years old. And we were reunited at Cleveland Heights High School. And if I recall, we both graduated. That's great.
We're both being pursued by law enforcement.
No, but I really appreciate you being here. And this is my wife, Sandy, and,
Hi.
okay. All right. Real close.
Raise your right hand, please. I, Tony Kuda,
I, Tony Kuda,
do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Cleveland Heights,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Cleveland Heights,
so long as I continue to hold the position as council member
and that so long as I continue to hold the position as council member
and impartially discharge
I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially discharge
that office to the best of my ability.
the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
Counselor-elect Joe DeWitt Foy.
I, Joe DeWitt Foy, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Cleveland Heights,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Cleveland Heights,
and that so long as I continue to hold the position as council member,
and that so long as I continue to hold the position as council member,
I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially
I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
Cobb,
Here.
Kuda,
Here.
Larson,
Here.
Cohen,
Here.
Posh,
Here.
DeWitt Foy.
Here.
You get everyone?
There are no absent members to excuse. What we're going to do now is I'm asking for nominations for the office of President of Council.
Madam President, I would like to nominate Tony Kuda.
I'd like to second.
Any other nominations? No other nominations coming forth?
I think I heard one.
Hers doesn't count.
Have to swear her in before she can be legitimate.
That's right.
All right, so I'd like to do a roll call vote, please.
Cobb,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
DeWitt Foy,
Aye.
Posh,
Aye.
Cohen,
Aye.
Kuda.
Aye.
Motion passes, and so that means that President Tony Kuda returns to his seat.
Oh, look at Addie. She's ready to go.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I, Tony Kuda. I do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America.
The Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio.
Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio.
And the Charter and ordinances of the City of Cleveland Heights.
And the Charter and ordinances of the City of Cleveland Heights.
And that so long as I continue to hold the position of President of Council.
And so long as I continue to hold the position of President of Council.
I will honestly,
I will-
faithfully, and impartially
I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability. All right, home sweet home. So. Okay, I'd like to open the floor to nominations for Vice President of Council. Councilman Cobb?
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate Gail Larson for Vice President.
All right, do we have a second?
I'd like to second.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I will close the nominations. Addie, could we call the roll on the election of the Vice President of Council?
Cobb.
Aye.
Larson.
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
DeWitt Foy.
Aye.
Cohen. Aye. Huda.
Aye. Okay. So, one more oath of office.
I, Gail Larson,
I, Gail Larson,
solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Cleveland Heights,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Cleveland Heights.
and that so long as I continue to hold the position of Vice President of Council,
And so long as I continue to hold the position of Vice President of Council,
honestly, faithfully, and impartially
I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
discharge the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
All right, so moving on with the agenda, Addie, I want to make sure that we have a meeting set up for Wednesday before I talk about
Yes.
committee assignments?
Yes.
Okay.
Wednesday at 6.
So if it's okay with everyone, why don't we put that on the agenda for Wednesday for the special committee of the whole meeting, and we'll discuss the committee assignments at that time.
And then you could make the appointments at the next meeting.
Okay, very good. Yeah, let's do that. Is there any other business related to council organization that anybody wants to bring up? Okay. Mayor Petras, are we able to do a leadership meeting tomorrow?
At 10 a.m.?
Yeah, is that possible? Okay, great. It's at least related to council organization. All right, now we have comments from council members. Who would like to go first?
I don't have my handy dandy timer, but I am going to time on my phone, just so you know.
I'll be glad to go first, and you won't need a timer for me. I am deeply grateful to the residents for placing their trust in me once again. Being reelected to serve on City Council is an honor I do not take lightly. I want to thank the residents for returning me to this seat. As I have done since I first came on the City Council in 2019, I will work hard to safeguard our finances, strengthen our services, support local businesses, and keep our city welcoming to all. I promise to continue listening, working hard, and making decisions guided by fairness, transparency, and respect for every resident, city employee, my fellow council members, and our new mayor. I need to point out that none of the work that any council member does happens alone. It requires the support of your family. Mine is left tonight. Fellow council members, our city staff, and the many residents who show up, speak, and care deeply about our community. Permit me to thank all of you with a special shout out to my spouse, Ruth, and my son, Michael, even though they did leave me. I want to extend a welcome to our newly elected council members, Jessica and Joe. Congratulations and thank you for stepping forward to serve. I look forward to working with you and learning from your perspectives. To my fellow incumbents, Tony, Gail, and Jim, I value our collegiality, your experience, and our continued partnership. Finally, I want to congratulate our new mayor, Jim Petrus. As a former council member, I know that you are going to bring valuable experience and great insight into the problems that remain to be fixed in this city. And most importantly, you have a strong understanding of how collaboration will help move our city forward. I'd like to end with this cliche. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work.
Councilman DeWitt Foy, how does that sound to you?
Sounds good.
All right.
Well, I just want to start by thanking everyone for coming out tonight, or if you're watching at home, thank you to the mayor and for all of the city staff for putting on such a lovely reception downstairs. And hopefully everyone in the room feels a similar sense of optimism and hope as I do right now. As we start this new term, there's a lot ahead of us, but I already feel like things are moving in the right direction, and we've got the right team here to push us forward. While there are many challenges ahead, I'm confident we have a great team and will work hard to improve the quality of life of all residents of Cleveland Heights. I'm looking forward to this new chapter and what we can accomplish together. As excited as I am about doing the work, I'm truly honored to be up here alongside my colleagues and humbled at the responsibility entrusted to us by the residents of Cleveland Heights. I promise to work to improve the lives of all residents in all parts of this city. I'm looking forward to collaborating with the mayor and your administration, our partners at local schools and libraries, and the many engaged residents and nonprofit groups doing incredible work throughout the city. I'm ready for the challenges ahead, and I'm excited to get to work. If you have any questions, if people want to connect with me, have anything they'd like me to know about, please don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to working with residents, and I'll be open and earnest, to hear from you all. Thank you.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Thank you. Thank you to the mayor, council president and vice president, my colleagues, the clerk, and everyone who's here tonight. To the residents of Cleveland Heights, thank you for your trust and the opportunity to serve. Being sworn in tonight is an honor, and it is one I approach with humility and deep gratitude. Cleveland Heights is my home, and I am thankful to the voters who believed in me and in the idea that our city's best days are still ahead. While I am a person of deep faith, my beliefs are not something I often speak about publicly. Still, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the divine presence that has brought me to this moment. I'm grateful to God for the gifts and blessings bestowed upon my family, and for the sense of purpose that guides me in this work, and for his presence through both challenges and triumphs. I'm also here because of the people who have supported me every step of the way. To my husband, who had to take my 3-year-old, thank you for being my partner, my sounding board, and my steady presence throughout this journey. There's a Jewish story about Rabbi Akiva and his wife, Rachel, and he says, all that I have done and accomplished is because of her support, and that is how I feel about my husband, that all I have done is his as well. To my children, you are my greatest motivation and my greatest joy. Every decision I make is informed by the kind of world and the type of nation that I want you to inherit. To my mom, who is watching from Florida, where it is warm and sunny, thank you for your unwavering support, for teaching me that the world is what I make of it, and to always pursue my dreams. I also want to acknowledge the many, many women who came before me, the women who served when it was harder, who spoke when it was uncomfortable, who helped make it possible for someone like me to sit here tonight, who stood up for the vote, who broke barriers and blazed trails. I am here only because I stand on the shoulders of generations of women who broke glass ceilings and demanded their place in their field or in the public eye. The women who fought for the right to vote understood that democracy is not sustained by slogans, but by responsibility. And their legacy calls us not just to participate, but to govern well. And I am deeply humbled to be a small part of this remarkable chain of women who have chosen service. There are 3 people whose influence shaped my path and whose absence I feel deeply tonight. Congresswoman Carolyn McCarthy showed me what it looks like to serve with courage and moral clarity, to turn personal pain into meaningful, lasting public service. My grandmother, who instilled a deep pride and tradition of our Jewish faith, and my father, who instilled in me a strong sense of justice, hard work, and duty. He taught me that the measure of a community's success is found in how it treats and uplifts the most vulnerable among us. Their lessons are with me every day. I ran for city council because I believe in a kind of politics and a kind of governance that is serious, principled, and grounded in respect for one another. At a time when trust in institutions is strained, local government now matters more than ever. What we do here can and should serve as an example of what American democracy looks like when it is functioning at its best, engaged, transparent, fiscally responsible, and rooted in the real needs of real people and the rule of law. I'm committed to stewardship of this city, of its finances, its neighborhoods, its public safety, and its future. I'm committed to listening, to collaboration with my colleagues, and to approaching this role with both urgency and care. And I'm committed, like all of you, to showing up every day ready to do the work that this community deserves. Thank you so much again for this extraordinary honor. I am proud to serve Cleveland Heights, and like you, ready to get to work.
All right. Well, first, I'd like to thank my wife, Sandy, for hanging around. You could have pulled a Ruth Cobb, and appreciate that. And is anybody interested in going to New Heights Grill when this is over? Because we're going, right? Okay. So we'll meet you guys at New Heights Grill. All right, great. Bill? All right. Okay, so before I start my second term council speech, I want to thank the people who helped me successfully navigate the challenges our city faced the past 3 months. Besides the entire city staff who oddly constantly thank me, I want to again thank Sharon Dumas, who led the city operations, Josie Moore, who kept me organized and led the HR effort, and Andy Unetic, who put together the budget book and worked collaboratively with the finance staff to tie up a lot of loose ends. So for the past 4 years, I've been a member of council president and mayor. So before I talk about the next 4 years, just indulge me a little reflecting time here. 4 years ago, it was, I think, on January 3rd in 2022, I wrote and delivered a speech about meeting the moment. And the moment 4 years ago included navigating the aftermath of COVID, transitioning from a city manager form of government to an elected mayor form of government, and to that end, updating our charter to create what I called, and I'm quoting myself, a strong independent city council that serves as both a collaborative partner, but also a strong independent oversight body that is a check and balance on the mayor. I talked about the importance of cooperation, collaboration, and consensus building. I truly believe that we had 8 elected officials pulling in the same direction 4 years ago. But right out of the gate, and for the next 3.75 years, I saw cooperation being replaced by confrontation, collaboration being replaced by competition, not by a majority of the elected officials, mind you, and not by any of the people you see sitting up here now, but no matter how nasty things got, a majority of us kept moving forward with an unshakable commitment to work together. And I want to commend those elected officials who heroically navigated the chaos and the nastiness and remained productive members of this body. Craig Cobb, you were a rock. Gail Larson never blinked. And later Jim Petrus and Jim Posh. And of course, Davita Russell, who's here with us tonight too. We really appreciate you and thank you for sticking together. Together, we were able to move a number of economic development projects forward. We passed nearly 1,000 pieces of legislation, and we got a much improved charter in the hands of the voters who overwhelmingly supported it in November. So I couldn't make a video. I wanted to try this out. I couldn't make a video about the last 4 years, so I did do one for the last 3 months. So Addie, if you wouldn't mind, you guys can look at the screen. It's only like a minute. Here's Todd. Josie. That was a big shindig we had for a holiday party. Don't you love the drama? And now I'm going to pass the torch. I don't think Scorsese has anything to worry about. So Craig and Gail, here we are 4 years later, once again, with a lot on our plate. And I see we have a couple of new players at the table, Jessica and Joe, and soon a player to be named later. And I have all the confidence in the world that you will be the cooperative, collaborative, consensus-building partners that will help our new mayor and our city reach new heights over the next 4 years. So welcome to the both of you. So let's talk about the next 4 years and hopefully our shared vision for 2026 and beyond. So we have to find a seventh member. That's like one of the first things we have to do. Establish and in some cases reestablish a productive partnership with each other and our residents and of course our new mayor. Redevelop Severance by building a mutually beneficial partnership with impact. That's job one. Create a 5-year capital projects plan that helps us improve city services. And later in the year, fund a 2027 budget that helps strengthen our city's responsiveness to our residents. And we obviously need to support our new mayor, work as partners for the betterment of our city, as our residents have a right to expect from our elected officials. So here's my unsolicited advice. You know, old people do this. Continue to be your old lovable selves, all of us. You don't need to become another person to be an effective public servant. Actually, I consider it a huge red flag when I see a dramatic personality shift when somebody takes office and then becomes almost unrecognizable. Mayor Petras, I want to say it has been a pleasure working with you these past 2 years on council and getting to know you better and better, and especially the last 2 months on the transition. I really admire your work ethic and your commitment to preparing yourself for the job of mayor of Cleveland Heights. I look forward to continuing our productive relationship and exploring all the possibilities for the future of the city that we love. So Happy New Year. This meeting is adjourned.